I am sticking with Lonzo Ball to go number one in the NBA draft, even though, obviously, on Friday night, he disengaged in the second half. He failed to get aggressive as he got against Cincinnati in the second half of the previous victory.
The guy that's better than Steph Curry disengaged?
Yeah, he did. And I'm about to get to why, in my opinion. But he got badly outplayed on that night by De'Aaron Fox. He couldn't stay in front of him. He kept getting picked on the pick and roll. And he had some nice chase downs. He's long, man, and he is athletic, and he has quickness and speed to him. But he couldn't keep his feet in front of De'Aaron Fox, who had one of those magical games where he was hitting every Tony Parker Memorial floater in the lane, every little runner.
Every three?
He just got in the lane repeatedly and just would let it go and swish with swish.
Yep.
And he goes for 39 and could not be stopped. But to me, Lonzo Ball, if you step back, big picture, he still has the gift of passing the basketball. And you saw it in the first half. You saw him flash 3 or 4 times. He still has up-floor speed while dribbling the basketball that is rare to me. He's 6'6", almost 6'7", I think. Long, quick, strong. He's got things that you can't teach or coach. And he also has a lethal three-point shot that just wasn't falling for whatever reason after he made his first one on Friday night. We saw what happened to De'Aaron Fox yesterday. Bigger guys in the lane. If you don't let him just get all the way to the rim, he doesn't have much of an outside shot that he can depend on. So I think he's going to have a struggle to find his place at the next level.
Like right before the half when he got into the lane and Meeks and Hicks met him at the rim.
And again, Malik Monk, you've liked him before.
Yes.
He's just so hot and so not. I don't know. I just don't know what to trust in him. I love his ability, but I'm not sure I'm going to spend the first pick on the draft on him. And I love Josh Jackson. You love Josh Jackson.
I do.
But I watched the whole game, Oregon-Kansas, the other day. In the first half, as they fell behind by 11 at halftime, Josh Jackson has a goose egg. And he was a little foul trouble, but still, really, a goose egg? Came alive a little bit in the second half, had 10 points and 10 rebounds, which was good. But they're just furiously rallying, and they couldn't get home because Oregon just kept making big shot clock threes. Okay, so I was hard on Friday night on Lonzo Ball. But then on Saturday morning, I read Jeff Goodman's story on ESPN.com, talked about his mother's health issue, which is very serious. And I was surprised to find, because I wondered why they didn't show LeVar during the game. He was not at the game. LeVar stayed back because there was a report earlier that the wife had suffered a stroke. And it seems so serious at this point that he stayed back and the 2 younger sons stayed back with her in the hospital.
Right.
I'm going to give the kid a pass here, a little bit. Maybe not a total pass, but I'm going to give him some break here because maybe he just didn't feel like playing basketball on Friday night. Maybe with his family not there, just took away a little bit of his focus. I don't know. I'm not usually, I'm usually a little cynical about this, but in this case, because the family seems so tight-knit and his father had been so in his corner that if his father's missing and the brothers are missing and the mom's missing, maybe his concentration flagged a little bit in the second half. Maybe he just lost, maybe he ran out of some mental gas in the second half. I could see it against all the star power that Kentucky had. It was basically Lonzo against the world that night because 3 of the top 9 recruits are over on the other side. So, again, big picture, I still think he has gifts you can't teach, and so I would stick with him as the number 1 overall.
Skip, I think it depends. This is not a draft where Olajuwon, Shaq, or LeBron is the number 1 pick.
I don't see it.
Because if they were number 1, it doesn't matter what you have. You're taking those guys.
I do agree with that.
If the Philadelphia 76ers get the first pick in the draft, I don't see them selecting Lonzo Ball because you just took Ben Simmons with the number 1 overall pick at point guard position. So I'm thinking
Is he's a point forward or?
I'm thinking that you would probably they would probably take Josh Jackson.
They might.
Number 2. Long, he's athletic, 6'8", he can rebound the ball, he can score the basketball. The Lakers, we know they would take him. Then they would probably
Lonzo.
They would take Lonzo Ball. They would probably kick D'Angelo Russell to the 2 spot because he's most of the point guards, with the exception of, say, John Wall, Mike Conley, they're masquerading. They're really 2 guards that happen to have a mask on saying they're saying point because they're score first point guards. And Lonzo Ball is a true old school Magic Johnson, Stockton. Let me get everybody else involved, and if I score 10 points, have 10 assists, and we win, I'm happy with that. Skip, I think what is happening is that what we're seeing is that De'Aaron Fox went at Lonzo Ball. He heard all this talk. His dad been hyping him up. Everybody's been hyping him up. And John Calipari said, look, at the half, he came out and said it. We're playing through Fox. So whatever he does, we feed off that. He went at Lonzo Ball, and this is what he's going to be up against.
Sure.
Think about this now. This is De'Aaron Fox. Skip, you got 6 point guards on a given night can go get you 50. You got I got Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas, Harden, Russ, Steph, Dame Lillard. They can go get you 50.
Sure.
Okay, what about the guys?
I don't even consider them point guards, but whatever. They're scoring guards.
Okay, now we go to Kemba Walker, John Wall, Bledsoe, Conley, Lowry. They can go get you 40. Skip, I didn't even mention Dragic and D'Angelo Russell. The way he plays defense, Skip, he's not his slide, stay in front of you. He tries to let you go past
and swipe
the ball.
Or
if you're going up, he
tries from behind.
Yes,
and he pulled off a couple of them, but a lot of times he got beat to the rack.
Yeah, because De'Aaron Fox he's cat quick.
Whew.
All these point guards I mentioned are cat quick. You play like that, you play like you played against De'Aaron Fox, and these guys will hit you up for 50 or 60 points. But this is what he's up against, Skip. His dad wrote a check that Lonzo has to cash. See, they should find the father for forgery because he's writing checks out here and he ain't got no money in the bank. That's Lonzo. They're going to go at him, Skip. For me, it all depends on who gets the first. If the Celtics get the first pick, I don't see them taking Lonzo because are you going to move Isaiah Thomas to the 2 at 5'9"? Isaiah Thomas needs the ball in his hand.
I might think about it.
So
this guy's going to make everybody a little better.
When I look at the Celtics, Skip, they have like what you call a college team. They got one big, Al Horford.
Yep.
And then they got a bunch of athletic 6'8" to 6'4" guys that plays around. They don't have a big, a true big. So when you look at them, they just took Jaylen Brown with the third or the fourth pick overall last year.
He's really starting to come alive.
Right. Yep. So they play him at a little 2, play him at a little 3. So I just don't. It all depends. Everything on where Lonzo Ball, if he goes number 1, is all going to be determined by who gets that pick.
Okay.
This is not a Shaq or Elijah one, a LeBron draft, where it doesn't matter. You're taking one of those guys. If you have a big, you're taking them. This is not the draft for that.
Okay, I got it. But I still say I watched enough of Lonzo in all the other games. I watched him against Kentucky at Kentucky, and I didn't see him get roasted and toasted like this. I just think he wasn't mentally engaged.
Yeah, I agree with you because he's a college kid. He doesn't understand as a professional. Those guys compartmentalize. Okay, this is serious. This is off the court or off the field. This is what I need to take care of. You have Brett Favre. His dad died the night before. He goes to Washington the Raiders.
Yeah, I was there.
On a Monday night game, and he has the game of his life. Professional athletes understand this. He's 18, 19 years old. He's not there yet. So I agree with you, Skip. I'm willing to give him a pass for what happened that night, but De'Aaron Fox was going to go at him.
Yeah.